May Allah accept our prayers. May Allah gather us with the Prophet ﷺ in Jannat al-Firdaus as we are gathered in this beautiful gathering. Yeah. You can stop vacuuming, inshallah, for the time being. Sallu ala Rasulillah. This is the night of Friday, and the Prophet ﷺ told us that we need to increase the salah upon him ﷺ in the night of Friday and in the day of Friday. We have listened to verses from Surah Al-Ma'idah. And Surah Al-Ma'idah is one of these amazing surahs that is talking about Aqidah. And Sheikh Mohamed in the first rak'ah, he told us that extremely important part of a verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Today, I have perfected your religion for you, and I have perfected my ni'mah upon you, my mercy upon you, and I have accepted Islam, and I'm pleased with Islam to be your religion. And this is the verse that is part of, the scholars are saying that this is the last verse that has been revealed in the Quran, or at least one opinion. But subhanAllah, when we listen to this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has perfected the religion. The religion is complete. The religion is bulletproof. No one can debate any small or big portion of the religion. And more importantly, Allah has accepted this as a way of life for you and I all the way till the day of judgment. And that's why Sheikh Mohamed helped me today, because I was going to talk about a verse in Surah Al-Ma'idah also, which is a consequence of this verse, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, actually it's a very scary verse. So listen to that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressing his messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, telling him, يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. O messenger. And subhanallah, always in the Quran is يا أيها النبي, يا أيها النبي, except in 2 times يا أيها الرسول. And both of them are in Surah Al-Ma'idah. يا أيها الرسول لا يحزنك الذين يسارعون في الكفر. And then O messenger. So the difference here is O prophet or O messenger. And subhanallah, when we are talking about a messenger, then he has a message to deliver. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is the second incident, or the second time where the Prophet ﷺ has been addressed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran by يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك. Relay what has been revealed to you from your Lord. Till this is fine. Okay, I will inshallah relay. And the Prophet ﷺ in Hajjat al-Wada' did stand up in in front of all people and telling them, ألا هل قد بلغت اللهم فاشهد. ألا قد بلغت اللهم فاشهد. Did I deliver my message? Oh Allah, be witness upon me that I did deliver my message. However, look at the continuation of the verse. وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته. And if you are not to do so, then you haven't delivered the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a very, very kind of harsh form of speech. And this is not for the Prophet only. This is for you and I. Because the Prophet ﷺ has delivered his message and did make his people surrounding him witness upon him to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he fully delivered his message. But what did he tell the people that were attending Hajjat al-Wada'? Let the present amongst you deliver it to the absent. And what is Allah telling us in Surah Al-Baqarah? وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. And that's why we've made you that balanced and just and middle nation in order for you to be witnesses upon humanity. So if the Prophet ﷺ has fulfilled his mission, did you and I fulfill our mission? There is a severe question. This is the serious question that you and I, we need to ask ourselves. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us here, if you don't do, then you have not delivered the message. If you are not stepping up to deliver La ilaha illallah, then you have not fulfilled your role in this religion that He has completed for you. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم. That's how you understand it. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ is telling you and I, because maybe lots of people will be saying, oh, you know what, I'm not knowledgeable enough. But the Prophet ﷺ told us, بلغوا عني ولو آية. Deliver upon me, even if it's one verse. You don't know قل هو الله أحد. You don't know قل أعوذ برب الفلق. You don't know قل أعوذ برب الناس. The Prophet ﷺ is telling you, بلغوا عني ولو آية. Deliver upon me, even if it's one message. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Surah An-Nahl, ادع إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين. When you are to actually make da'wah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the sake of your Lord and to the path of your Lord, use the best form of speech. Use wisdom. بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة. And even if they are engaging with you in debates, جادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. Debate amongst them in the best form ever of debate. But the bottom line here is you need to be stepping up for that role of da'wah. And when we look at our situation here in the Day of Judgment, wallahi, every time that I'm thinking that how many non-Muslims you and I are dealing with, and you know what would be the scary moment? يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه. That day in the Day of Judgment, when you and I will be standing alone, وكلهم آتيه يوم القيامة فردا, like each one of us will be standing alone before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine in that day, your neighbor, for example, someone that used to be saying hello to you, good morning, good afternoon, whatever, day in, day out, your neighbor, your classmate for our children, your co-worker. Imagine that person would be coming to complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from you. Would be coming to tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, this guy did know the truth, but he didn't actually spend any effort to tell me the truth. Wouldn't that be scary? I mean, obviously, we are all in it together. Because I believe, wallahu a'lam, if we as Muslims, and in this country in particular, where, mashallah, as a result of 34 years, just talking about the recent history, where we have established ourselves, where we have established our institutions, where we have our masajid, where we have our shuyukh, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, the ilm is here, where we have our kids learning Quran, and we are like having Islamic schools and all of that. And even we have our non-profit organizations. If we don't have an actual community-wide plan to deliver La ilaha illallah for every single one of this population, every single person in this 300 million plus population, then Allah will be questioning all of us. Unfortunately. And if we are not raising these kids that they are messengers of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this land, then we are in serious trouble. Because otherwise we are raising them as what? As consumers, as people who are self-centric, as people who are living for themselves, for having a good career, for having a good house, for having a good wife, for having a wealth. That's not who they are, and that's not who we are. Even if you are saying, oh, you know what? I was not coming, I didn't come with this intention when I came to this land, especially for the first generation, those who are in the 40s, 50s, 60s that migrated to this land. Or even if you are saying, like, you know what, I'm born, raised, but my parents didn't actually raise me to be that person who is to deliver the message. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we are now in it together. And whether we like it or not, the fact that you are ignorant about the role that you need to play doesn't mean that you are not supposed to do it. It doesn't actually free you from being questioned in the Day of Judgment. And that's why we need to always remind ourselves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. The most important knowledge is La ilaha illallah. And that knowledge is the knowledge that we need to deliver. We need to deliver through our actions. We need to deliver in the best form of speech, directly and indirectly. you and I would need to be opportunistic, in a sense that we need to seize every opportunity to talk about our religion. We need to always inject this idea that I'm doing this because I'm a Muslim. I'm not attending like any party where like there is drinking because I'm a Muslim. I'm going and praying 5 times a day because I'm a Muslim. I'm going to Jum'ah because I'm a Muslim. Like this, because I'm a Muslim, would need to be a way of life for you. And that would need to be bundled with the role model. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة. You had the role model in the Prophet ﷺ. So you and I, if we are going on his footsteps, sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we need to be role models also. And this is the path for us to at least have something to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that, oh Allah, I was striving to be a role model. I did try to raise my kids to be messengers of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I did seize every opportunity to talk about Islam. And whenever at least I had the opportunity, I was talking freely, openly, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed his mercy upon us that we are in a country where you can talk freely about your religion and no one will put you in jail, like in many situations in Muslim countries. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be among those people that would truly deliver La ilaha illallah, to be among those people that will be sources of goodness and guidance for everyone who are to deal with them throughout their lives, and to be the best ambassadors for this religion. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه.